This is a memory that goes back to almost 2 years to May of 2023. My center was sponsoring a conference in Rome for Catholic writers from around the world, along with Georgetown University, Civiltà Cattolica, the great Italian Jesuit journal, and also the Hank Center at Loyola, Chicago. So we invited 40, there were between 40 and 60 writers who came to Rome and spent several days reading to each other. And we were very happy to find out that Pope Francis heard about our conference from one of our sponsors, Antonio Spadaro, who is a fellow Jesuit, and Pope Francis wanted to address us. So he wrote an address just for us. And then he invited us to the Vatican to hear the address as part of a delegation, an audience. But then he invited us up to meet him individually. So we were, as you might imagine, very excited about this possibility. It was the last day of our conference, so we all went over to the Vatican. And we went into this beautiful room. It's a room where he frequently receives people. Just monumental depictions of the life of Jesus and biblical scenes all over the walls and marble everywhere. And I was thinking to myself, like, wow, talk about the Catholic imagination at work. So we waited for him. He came in, he read the address to us, and the address was deeply moving. I don't think any of us realized how important literature and art has been to Francis all his life. He mentions the fact that he was a school teacher. He taught high school boys when he was in Argentina, and he thanks those kids in his address for giving him the reason, an excuse really, to read the great writers of the Western canon, to read Dostoevsky, to read Dante, and to be able to explore the regions of his own heart and soul. And these writers still mean a great deal to him spiritually. So the address was pretty short. It's really only a few paragraphs, but it's basically a very pastoral letter in which he really encourages us and enjoins us as writers to follow our imaginations. We had heard earlier, the day before, that he had gotten sick. He had some kind of cold, so he canceled all of his appointments and all of his audiences. And so we were thinking, oh my gosh, that's it. We're not going to meet Francis. But he insisted on meeting us. And you could tell by the way he was conducting himself, this was different. We were not heads of state. We were not religious leaders. We were just writers, and I think he just delighted in meeting such ordinary people, but people who were doing something that he thought was very important.